Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we'll be doing things a little bit differently today. Today won't be about the tropics. Want to kind of take a break from the tropics. Plus, there's not really an update on the tropics for today. Things have been kind of going the same way as forecasted, so we're going to do things a little bit differently today. There's more than tropics as of right now. But one of the main topics of this video is going to be the severe weather risk across parts of the northeastern United States, which also includes the threat of isolated tornadoes. There's even a risk for severe weather across parts of the Midwest tomorrow. Also, there's a big pattern change coming up as well, which does lead to some good news for the northwestern United States as well. So we're going to get started with the watch warning advisory display. And as you can see here, it's starting to rain at some right now. One big noticeable thing is we have red flag warnings across parts of Montana, Wyoming, western North Dakota, northwestern South Dakota, even for parts of eastern Idaho as well. Another area is going to be across parts of the northwest. Look at that, light blue. That's a freeze watch. Things are turning cooler up there in across parts of the northwestern United States, and also turning wetter at the same time. That's some better news for them because they've been hot and dry over the last several months here. However, not everybody in the western United States won't see that at least complete change. We'll check out the Climate Prediction's outlook here in just a moment. Two areas we're also watching here today for flooding. You got one area across parts of southeastern Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southwestern Alabama, and parts of the Florida Panhandle. That's where we have flash flood watches and even a couple flash flood warnings as well. That's from the remains of Tropical Depression Nicholas, which is currently somewhere right in here, and it's expected to die out somewhere in Louisiana. So you guys will be experiencing rounds of showers and thunderstorms over the next couple of days. Another area we're monitoring for flooding is across parts of the Tennessee Valley and the Laurel Ohio Valley region, where thunderstorms will be going over some of the same areas today as well. Things will start to change from the northeast. Right now it's pretty quiet across the northeast, but it will likely change later today as we'll start to see a severe weather risk up there. And this is the Storm Prediction Center outlook here. We do have a slight risk for severe weather, really from parts of Pennsylvania all the way up into central Maine. Pretty rare to have a slight risk up in Maine, especially for this time of year. It's pretty rare up there. There will be some hail up there as well. We'll have a pretty cold air aloft up there. You got that 50% across parts of New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, Massachusetts, even for far northeastern part of Pennsylvania. One of the main threats will be damaging winds. We also have a tornado risk as well. We got a 5% chance of a tornado in a 25-mile radius of any given point across parts of southern Vermont, New Hampshire, southern Maine, and even for parts of Massachusetts and New York. These are areas that haven't really seen much of any tornadoes this year, so that may change later today. We've seen a map here of tornado warnings across the northeast, and these areas haven't seen any tornado warnings, and so that may change later today. There's another area we're watching for an isolated tornado risk, and that's across parts of southeastern Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southwestern Alabama, and the far western part of the Panhandle of Florida, as well as again from the remains of Tropical Depression Nicholas. Tomorrow, we got slackers across most a good chunk of Minnesota into parts of southeastern South Dakota as well. There is a low-end tornado risk across most of Minnesota, even including parts of southeastern South Dakota, far northwestern Iowa, and far northwestern Wisconsin. Damaging winds will be the main threat, but hail will also be possible as well for those areas. So that's another area we need to monitor. Then on day 3, no severe weather expected anywhere in the country as of right now. So we'll start off with the northeast here. And you do see here, there will be a cold front moving in across parts of the northeast. That will spark off some showers and thunderstorms, and these will become more linear here. And really these bow echoes here, that's where we could see some damaging wind potential. But even on the northern side here, that's where we had the greatest QLCS tornado risk as well. Even some of these isolated cells here along that front may have the opportunity to produce an isolated tornado as well across those regions here. There's a decent amount of instability to work with, plenty of wind shear as well, or I should say just enough wind shear to have a tornado threat as well, and you will start to see those showers and thunderstorms continue over some of those same areas. So there may be a very isolated flooding risk as well. This is a storm relative helicity here, and this is one of the main ingredients here for tornado activity or tornadic activity. And you can see here the most of it's up in Maine, but the main area to focus here will be across parts of Vermont and New Hampshire here, maybe into parts of Massachusetts as well. You do see here, as we kind of get later into the evening hours, your storage helicity numbers do start to increase here. So we'll get one sounding in, I believe, at southern New Hampshire. And the storage helicity, it is favorable for an isolated tornado. I'm not really expecting any significant tornadoes out of the setup here, but what I also do notice here is that elevated mix layer there in the mid levels, which could indicate that potential for some hail out of these storms. Plenty of instability. Downdraft Cape will indicate a damaged wind threat, and also the photographs is on the small side, so we're not really expecting any strong variety tornadoes. Most of these will probably be weak and probably short-lived as well. But the other threats we need to keep an eye on is the hail, and also for that damage and wind risk as well. We'll pick up another area. We'll go further to the northeast, up into Maine. That's where we have a little better wind shear environment here. And Downdraft Cape seems favorable for damage winds. We also have wind direction of high, a little bit more story to helicity, and also slightly better photographs. So really the main threat with this one here will be hail, damage winds, and maybe an isolated tornado as well. If we go further down to the southwest, let's go into northeastern Pennsylvania real quick. And the tornado risk does decrease here. It's below the threshold here for a good tornado risk, and that's the story to helicity. It's below 150, but it may just be enough for a very isolated tornado risk. But the main threat with this setup here will be damaged winds, and there could be some hail out of these storms as well. Plus, lower wind shear can lead to less organized cells, so just to keep in mind of that as well. So I definitely will watch for parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, maybe into parts of New York. If storms can make it a little further south, it may include parts of Massachusetts, even across parts of Maine as well. So that'd be the areas I want to monitor here for the potential for severe weather. If you guys do live in any of these areas, be sure to have a way to get watches or warnings as well, since we do have a tornado threat today. Another area to watch here for severe weather will be across parts of the Midwest, mainly Minnesota and parts of South Dakota. This is the HRRR model here again, and as you can see here, a little cluster of thunderstorms may try to develop here. This also can have a sign here for a flash flooding setup as these storms train over some of the same areas. But then again, we do have that little tornado risk here, especially on the northern side here, and there could be a little damage wind threat with these as well. If we look into, that's actually the wrong thing here. That's energy helicity index. Well, that's another way to check out for a tornadic activity, but I really want to look at to the storm helicity. And we're not really expecting much of any severe weather today across the Midwest. There is a lot of storm helicity to work with, but there's not much of any instability to work with. But as you do kind of look at tomorrow, there is some storm helicity to work with. You do have some areas that do peak up to 200, especially across southeastern Minnesota. If we kind of check out the environment here, there's actually a strong cap in there, which is some good news there. That will definitely decrease that severe weather potential. And that's what you call a cap here, where the red line goes this white dotted line. That's which I believe that's the dry line, if I'm correct. But either way, if we're gonna have a cap like that, you're not gonna get any severe weather. So that's not much to worry about here. But that may break overnight. If we go a little further to the southwest here, where we do have that slight risk area, it's a little bit messier as well. Plus, there's no instability. That might just be in a spot where we do not have much of any instability. If we go to peak time heating, though, we'll probably have a better look here. And there's still a cap here, but we do expect this cap here to probably break overnight. But there is a very strong elevated mix layer in here, especially in the lower levels there that can indicate a hail threat as well. Plus, there's some strong lap rates as well, so there may be that opportunity that some of those storms may actually blow for that cap, given the fact there could be some strong updrafts out there. There's also that damage wind risk as well with that strong level lap rates and also downdraft cap. There's also some instability to work with as well. The whole graph is not really that impressive here, but I'm sure they'll look a little bit better as we kind of get later in the day. You kind of see how things start to fire up later in the day here, and you do notice here, here's a better sounding here, the gap starts to weaken here as you move to the overnight hours. So really your initiation of storms may happen in the overnight hours, so that's something you need to watch here. So that could be more of an overnight severe weather risk. A much better hodograph here. Plenty of storage velocity to work with, well over 150. That'd be favorable for tornadoes. Downdraft cape is 1200, and also with the strong lap rates. This is a pretty good environment here for severe weather, really for any mode here. Hail, damage winds, even for some tornadoes as well. So that's a pretty good setup here for severe weather. I'm interested to see what it looks for to the northeast with that higher storm to felicity. And it doesn't look like there being any instability up there, which is some good news there. So really, areas we need to monitor here for severe weather may have to be in this area here that I've circled. There's what, at least that's the indication from the HRRR model. We'll go a little further up north, and it also shows a pretty good setup for severe weather as well. So really, anybody in that Slycrace area, be sure to have a way to give watchers some warnings. I don't know if the enhanced risk will happen on setup or not, but then again, still something to watch here very closely here over the next several runs of these weather models as well. So let's check out the long range here. So this is the GFS model here. Here's the remains of Nicholas right here. Here's Invest 96L. They'll be coming close to North Carolina, but even along the East Coast line as well. So anybody along the East Coast may need to watch for Invest 96L. But right now the chances of development are actually been brought up from the National Hurricane Center with that system there. So tropical depression seems likely. But tropical storm is kind of a low chance. But we'll watch that very closely here. Here's a cold front in the north here. But you also notice the northwest, rain. But if you go up to British Columbia and Canada, mountain snow. Yeah. It's that time of year where we start to talk about a little bit more about snow. And the GFS does indicate there could be some mountain snow across parts of Idaho and Montana as well by Sunday. We got a strong low pressure system going across the northern Rockies here. Really mainly across Wyoming. And this is going to be a very interesting setup here. We got a big trough moving in here. At the same time, there's a ridge of high pressure out here as well. So we'll have to watch this region here for any severe weather potential as well. It's fall, so this is the secondary severe weather season of the year. You do see here with the GFS model here, we also got another tropical system here picking up on the GFS model. And another one behind it as well. So this could be a pretty active period of weather, not only for tropics, but even for across the western and central United States with that potential for some severe weather as well. And you can see here, that may become a cutoff low as well. And what a cutoff low is, that's cut off from the jet stream. So it's just going to sit there until either a different system comes in or it's just going to sit there and die out. And typically, if you're under a cutoff low, usually it's chilly and it's much cooler. You also got this front right here that could bring the potential for some severe weather along that front as well. But check out these tropical systems though. Now, this is getting 10 days out, so this is going to change here. But you do see here for the GFS model, tropics looks to be active in that period as well indicated by the GFS model. So let's check out the Climate Prediction Center outlook here, and the better news from the Northwest, cooler than average temperatures. They desperately need that break. However, in the eastern United States, we turn warmer than average. And those reds and dark red colors, that's where we have the best chance to see some above average temperatures. Now, these are chances. This is not like well above or just slightly above average. This just indicates the chances for above average temperatures, which seems very likely. There's high confidence across the mid Atlantic and northeast here to see that above average temperature threshold. Even includes across parts of the Great Lakes in the Midwest. And this, at the same time here, you could see some severe weather setups across parts of the Midwest and Northern Plains. So the severe weather risk for up there is not really over yet. If you check out precipitation here, now, unfortunately, some of those places across the West may stay a little bit on the drier side of things, especially across parts of the Four Corner states, even a little further east across parts of the plains as well. Still looking to be on the drier side. However, parts of Washington, Oregon, and Idaho could see that opportunity of weather to normal conditions, which is some better news. They really need that rainfall. Hopefully, things trend a little bit wetter across a little bit more of the West as well, because we really need that rainfall. Meanwhile, across parts of the Great Lakes, looking a little bit wetter, even across parts of the South, but generally most of the East here looking to be on the wetter side of things as well. So looking to be warm and a stormier look out there. 8 to 14 days looking to be very similar. That chances of colder than average temperatures kind of shift a little further to the southeast as well. And then again, the central and the eastern United States looking to be warm. Even that dry air kind of starts to shift further to the east. Hopefully that trends a little further east across the plains, especially for the farmers as well. They need drier weather for harvest as well. So we will not really mind any drier weather across parts of the plains and even for parts of the eastern United States as well for harvest time for those farmers as well. And at the same time, hopefully things trend wetter than average across parts of the western United States over the next several weeks. But anyways, guys, this is all for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you do like my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notifications so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, leave a comment section down below. I'll let you guys questions. And I see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.